there, YouTube? I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. And today, I'm very excited to be checking out the sixth newest project on games. I normally talk about the popularity of the project, however, this one just launched and I could not find it. I scrolled down pretty far and I could not find it, so I just decided to show how new it is. Just launched The Adventure of Dex Dixon, the board game, a scenario-based sandbox strategy game set in a multi-dimensional noir horror world filled with ... Scenario-based sandbox like that strategy game. Okay, I'm looking at the main image. What am I seeing? I'm seeing some artwork. I think this is the mini, maybe? I don't know. I feel like we should zoom in on something. I do see, what is that, 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, and time, I think that's 20 minutes per player. I might make that a smidge bit bigger. It's really hard to read just from the offset right here. But I'm seeing I'm getting into a pretty big box right here. I can expect a decently sized price here, decent sized shipping. I do like knowing that. But there's definitely, I feel like, yeah, because now it's much larger, but out there it's really hard to see. Also, Kickstarter, I don't feel like we really need that. Like, we know where we are. The artwork looks good. Okay, so I couldn't really see this artwork that well from the outside. So maybe focus on a card or something. Player count, time, age, yeah, it's there. I love it. It's just, it's a little hard to see from the outside. As always, though, when we get into the video, 3 things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? You got to convince every Kickstarter backer. Let's go.
There are a million stories in our fair city. But when I heard that some vamp had a new artifact causing a ruckus on both sides of the portal, I decided to liberate it from them. They put up a hell of a fight, but in the end I won. I usually do. I'm Dex Dixon.
This is such an interesting take on a video.
It turned out to be a game, and there was something familiar about it, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I invited a few associates to help me dig deeper. My gal Delilah.
She looks great for a gal pushing 300. Disagree, and I'll fight you.
Lila Larrabee came too. And a couple I didn't invite. Nellie Naylor, Mannix Marlowe, and Fritz. Fritz.
This is so different.
Gameplay in The Adventures of Dex Dixon, the board game, consists of turns and rounds. During each character's turn, they will perform several actions, which they may do in any order they choose. Once a character has completed their turn, the next character will do so, and so on, until all player characters have done so. At that point, the round ends and another one will begin. During your character's turn, you may perform any number of the following actions. Move, draw, play cards or abilities, or perform an attack. At the top of each player's turn, they will roll 5 6-sided dice. This is called their retainer. The retainer is used for movement and the activation of powers and abilities. Character's movement is determined by selecting any number of the rolled retainer die and applying any movement mods your character has. You can move forward, back, left, and right, but diagonal movement is not allowed. The draw phase happens at the end of the movement phase when characters have landed on spaces that allow them to recruit mugs, heal damage, or draw cards into their hands. It should be noted that you can only have 5 cards in your hand.
I feel like we've gone too deep into the rules.
Cards, you may play as many cards as you have the power points to support. You might also choose to activate a special character or card ability, persuade another character if you were playing with Delilah, or remove damage from Dex if Billy Blackthorn is in play, for example. You may bank any unused die from your retainer to use during subsequent players' turn, or turn 1 die in for a reroll token to be used on any single die roll. If you have any unused bank die at the beginning of your next turn, you add them to the rest of your die and roll a new...
Deep into the weeds. I feel like I'm in that part of a conversation where it's like, all right, I just gotta wait until they finish, then I can move forward. Yeah, and that's why, like, I'm not a big fan of this style of Kickstarter video where you just completely, here's the theme over here, and then here's the gameplay over here. We're gonna do this theme part first, and then we're gonna get to the gameplay. I'm not here for your theme. I'm not. And yeah, someone said it's based off a small movie. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what's going to draw interest into the game, is that it's people who know this intellectual property and they're excited about what it has become. But as me, and I would say that's probably the majority of people who are going to check out your Kickstarters, people who are not in that boat, who are in the other boat, who are like, no, convince me about the game first. I don't know. I just, all the sizzle didn't do it for me.
Retainer. Your character is landed in
And now I'm getting the steak, and I'm like, okay, the steak looks, it looks like steak I've seen a lot. Like, none of the stuff in the game is like, whoa, it's blowing my mind. It's like, okay, this is all very familiar, which is good, but that's hard to convince someone to spend $100 on. You know, like, I got 2 or 3 other games where they do a lot of stuff like this. I don't know if I need to really drop 100 on this.
an adjacent space to an opponent. You can choose to attack that character. The other player may choose to use a card or
Put this into a how-to-play video, bingo. And hopefully there is. I would imagine there has to be a how-to-play video if they took the much... Like, because this looks decent. Like, if you... This looks like a very good how-to-play video right here.
ability to hinder your attempt.
It just isn't where I want to see it. And I know this isn't the full how-to-play. It's just a bite-sized morsel.
But if they are unsuccessful, the battle takes place. Each player will roll a red attack die. Highest roll wins. You lose.
Scram. With the unique dice-based action and power allocation, characters' asymmetrical abilities, and dynamic card play, no two games.
Wow, that was a lot of awesome buzzwords I would have loved to have heard a while ago. That was good. Like, okay, asymmetrical special abilities. I honestly missed out on that when I was... Because it was just that middle part. It just felt like it was like, oh... A PowerPoint presentation I was just watching.
Sessions are ever the same.
Like, how does all the sizzle, how does all the cool stuff you're doing as a character interweave into the gameplay? When you're leaving that, you know, that temple that you stole something from, like, what does that look like in game sense? You know, I feel like that would have been the way to go.
Pledge now on Kickstarter.
Because after the video, do I want it? It's going to depend on the price. Nothing here, like, really blew my pants off. Can you do it? Not sure. I mean, I see you've got the game there. You show me a lot of the game, and I think I'll be fine on that one. But then how much is it? Don't know yet. So it's raised $4,200 of the $45,000 goal, which looks terrible, but it just launched today. I do want to specify that. I thought it was launching on Thursday. I got my days mixed up somehow. But first created 9-back, Fexiverse Development is committed to creating dynamic and engaging games, media, and theatrical content. We are new to the gaming community, but bring several strong intellectual properties to the table to create amazing games with rich stories and engaging gameplay. So we do have the graphic designer / artist also as a collaborator, so we should have 2 people on the customer service. Good. I only just found out about all of this about a week ago myself. I like the universe and feel the game has some great potential. Yeah, that's actually why I chose to cover this. I saw it had like, I think, 1,000. It had a pretty good chunk of people on the pre-launch page. So $70 for the core game, plus all unlocked stretch goals. Okay, so we're not up to the 100. That's great. Because that looks like a pretty big box. Now, I'm wondering if that's not actually the size of the box and it's just the angle they put it at. Because that definitely looks thicker than a Ticket to Ride size box. I think we can all agree that looks thicker than that. Fridays are horrible to start a campaign. It typically is, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. It's not a day that most people choose. I think typically most people would say Tuesday. I think Monday's a great day to squeeze your game in potentially as well. And honestly, it really is a crapshoot a lot of the time. It depends a lot on what else is launching when you launch. The Adventures of Dex Dixon, the board game. 30 minutes per player, ages 14 plus, 1 to 4 players. Skirmish gameplay, dice placement, clever card play. A scenario-based skirmish game set in noir. This is just the same flex, the flavor text. So I see it's a city-looking thing, okay? Choose your boss, recruit your mugs, assemble your gear, and charge your magical powers to beat your opponents and obtain your objects by outwitting them with clever card play and unique character abilities. Honestly, this one paragraph right here kind of gets me more excited than your entire video. Okay, what's choosing my boss? That sounds cool. Is that asymmetrical? Then recruit your mugs, so I imagine that's even more asymmetrical. Assembling your gear, that's even another layer of asymmetrical, which in my brain says, hey, replayability. This sounds like one of those games where I'll say, oh, if I would have just took this instead of this thing, that could have done, you know, then I could have synergized and energized. Yeah, that video, I don't know. I think that video is a miss. But then again, I'm coming at it from the board game perspective and not from the fan of the IP perspective. So I'm curious, when you give me a grade on this one, let me know in the comments. Are you from the movie perspective, like the person who likes the IP, or from the board game perspective? We're a small publisher, and this is our first title. We want to do it right. We're confident that the hard work and development put into the design has made it a game that you'll be proud to have on your shelf and excited to get to the table. So I wish you did show me all the components here at the $70 range. Like, why beat around the bush? Because I want to see everything. I want to see all, like, how many scenarios are there? Choose your boss. Play the champions of our fair city or the nemesis from Nightside. Bosses are balanced, though they're set. So boss is going to be who you're fighting. Okay. Players break into teams based on the bosses they've chosen. I wish we could zoom in a little bit more on this and a little bit less on our artistic whiskey, maybe. Recruit your mugs. Choose from 26 support characters with incredible abilities. This sounds great. I'd love to see some of these. Hopefully we see more. Assemble your gear. Attach powerful equipment to your boss and collect artifacts. Yeah, this sounds fantastic. Maybe I just completely zoned out during the middle part of that video. But this sounds way better than what I was seeing in the video. Become the Paranormal Detective. Pledges. Knowing the game, players are all individuals with their own preferences and aesthetics. We have assembled 3 main pledge tiers for our backers. So clean and clear. $70. Includes base game, everything you need to play the game. $100. Deluxe Gamer Edition, the Streetwise Cop Pledge, includes the base deluxe game and some of the bells and whistles. Hopefully you'll show me those right next to it. Next. All in, includes the base deluxe game and all the bells and whistles. Some of the bells and whistles, all of the bells and whistles. Hopefully there's immediately a picture. Great. Good. $70. And you're not showing me any of the components. You do say it's 268 cards, 8 bosses. So this is where I'd love a long, sexy scrolling shot of every single component, and having its own special do. All the standees next to each other so I can see the different diversity in them, and the dice, and the game boards, and 2 quad-fold game boards. Right there, 2 game boards. I want to see both sides of both those boards. I want to see how they fold, potentially. I want to know the dimensions of these game boards. How big are they? I could be impressed very easily if you tell me, too big. How big are they? I don't know. That's your job to tell me. Streetwise Cop, 1 copy of the core game, custom dice, 16 custom dice and mug HP dials. So custom dice set, okay. 8 boss dials and boss mugs. So these are just going to be things that are going to make it easier to play the game. So these are purely core game. So these are purely outside the game things, but they're unnecessary for play, but they do make it better. Cool. But this is also where I get a little bit concerning when I see a first-time Kickstarter game company who's making a game, but they're not just making a game. You always have to realize that what product are you actually making? Because right now we're up to the game and the dice and boss dials and mug dials. And I'm assuming they're probably going to go to the same company to make these, so that those will hopefully come together. But that's 3 separate things we're making now. My podcast will be interviewing him about the game. So I first discovered the game when he reached out to me, and the IP hooked me immediately. Then I dug into the rule booklet, and I haven't seen any scenarios yet, but the gameplay sounds solid. Yeah, it sounds like it has some really cool ideas. And the 190, 230 retail, so they're trying to show me why I need to get it now. Okay. All upgrades and content from the Deluxe Pledge, plus 3 more add-ons. So here we go. So 3 expansion card sets. So this is big. I don't like this. So this feels weird because this is what everyone is, in theory, is going to want. When I say Bauer's Law, that is that most of the time I go on these Kickstarters, people want whatever pledge level is the most expensive and has the most bells and whistles. 9 times out of 10. And if you're not one of those, if you're that 1 out of 10 times, that probably means you're not having either a great pledge level that convinces people that, or advertising it well. So I'm curious to see this. So 3 expansion card sets, 268 sleeves. So you're locking gameplay with sleeves and stuff that I don't necessarily need. And now I am up to the, hey, we're making 1 thing, we're making 2 things, we're making 3 things, we're making custom sleeves. Are these custom sleeves 4 things? So we're making 5, 6, 7. We're making 8 separate products here. This is a lot we're making here now. Now, they do have a large funding goal. They have a $45,000 funding goal, which is actually a reasonable funding goal. They're not like, we only need $20,000 to make all this stuff, which makes me feel better. But that also makes me wonder about how smoothly this Kickstarter campaign is going to go. Because, yeah, some people, they're fickle. Like, if they think something's going to fail, they just won't back it. That sucks. And I don't think that video is going to convince them if they're from the board game world. 2 game boards that can be played individually for quick, exciting quests or combined for even more epic adventures. That sounds fantastic. Wow, that sounds like something I'd love to have seen in the video. That the boards can combine to have like epic mega quests that you work your way up towards. That sounds great. Includes 10 unique scenarios ranging from deathmatch, pick up and deliver, hold objectives, tower defense, and even a scenario that is you manage it, stopping a rampaging troll from destroying the city. Experience the urban sprawl of our fair city, home to Dex Dixon and his team of paranormal investigators. Their game is learning from other games' mistakes and as well as way to being a game people will enjoy having on their game shelf. Their game is learning from other games' mistake and is well on its way to being a game people will enjoy having on their game shelf. That quote. It's an interesting quote. So $70. What's the core game? 36 characters. Oh, so now we get this shot. Okay, cool. 23 mugs. All with their own artwork. 5 large characters. Components. Yeah, I would have put this up here when you were trying to convince me to spend $70. I'd love to see this zoomed in too. I'd love it if each one of these, like, I would love to read what these say and feel the asymmetry, because there's obviously going to be, the bosses are going to be drastically different. Scenario sheets, same things. I'd love to, like, look at one of these. Even if it was just one, 4-player reference sheets. Now, boy, howdy. That's a pretty player reference sheet. That player reference sheet just gets me excited. That player reference says, hey, we play board games. Like, that looks great. That is everything I need. 4-player reference. Oh, there we go. The 2 quad-fold boards. Okay. They don't really pop out to me, but that's still cool. 268 cards. Okay, and now I'm seeing it. Look at all the text. Look at all the text on these cards. I feel like I am now 18 minutes into this campaign, and this is the first time I've been like, oh, wow, that's a lot of gameplay. And it shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. That is tons of cards. Reference sheets are, yeah, but that was like a whole reference page. That was like I love it so much. What more. But this looks great. I want to play this game. I don't feel like that video showed me this game. Where this game gets really interesting is with a wide array of cards that can have instant or lingering effects. Okay, I like that. I like lingering effects, add-ons. Exclusive Kickstarter add-ons designed to enhance gameplay and upgrade many of the core game components, including the adorable thing stuff. And then expansion decks. Okay, so these are just going to be tuck boxes. Okay, so I take back a little bit of my skepticism. From the picture above, I definitely thought these were larger. So this is a 32-card expansion. Does it say that? Let's see. Oh, it does. I just missed it. So those are tuck boxes. Okay. Yeah, tuck boxes are dirt simple. Dirt simple, dirt cheap. Okay. My concern level has lowered substantially. $40 for 3 tuck boxes. Okay. Card sleeves. Got it. Custom dice. Lots of stuff. All the knickknacks. The patty wax. That's cool. All the above, including the Paranormal Detective Pledge. Got it. Custom boss ID. Optional add-on. Whoa! So here's the thing. I want to give this a half-point grade bump up for being such a cool and unique idea, but I also want to give it a half-point grade bump down for being buried so far below. Make your own boss. Picture and name on it? What? You or your pets? It's only $60. We'll draw your pet as a custom playable boss. That's fantastic. That's great. Like that's in the video. That is an in the video kind of thing. You or your pet? You've got so many people immediately intrigued. Way more intrigued. Like this goes from, oh, this looks like a game that I've seen before. Ooh, okay, I can get whiskers in here. Like that's great. I think this campaign is all the things Bauer Grades requires, but needs to be rearranged different order. Yeah, the order's weird. Stretch goals, linen finish, marble dice. Ooh, that's nice. So fancy cards, fancy dice, spot gloss, fancy stuff. Ooh, there's the one. These are micro stretch goals too. Look at that. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. But that's if you can get to that 40. Like this could be very exciting with a couple big backers, you know? But to become a big backer, I feel like you make me scroll for a while. You know, like I just found out that I can give you 60 extra bucks. And if I'm that invested in the game or whatever we're doing here, 60 extra bucks, yeah, like, okay, I'm in. Like that's, okay, so let's check out the pledge levels here. And I do want to up it, well, let's get all the way to the bottom, then I'll check out, no, I'll check it over. So 18 people, no, because they just launched. I want to check out how it's going. So 42.74. Okay, so not a massive jump. So 18 backers sitting on the fence. 70 or people who are buying things a la carte because maybe they don't want to have to buy card sleeves or to buy HP dials in order to get the crucial gameplay elements of those 3 tuck boxes, which I hate so much. Don't lock gameplay with unnecessary stuff like that. It's just, it's bad juju. $70. 5 people want the $70 game, so nobody wants that. Okay. $100, Streetwise Cop. 9 people want some of the fancy stuff, but not all the fancy stuff. Then 190. So we do have 15. So that is still the largest number. Whew. That's a big ask. So $190, and I'm getting 3 extra tuck boxes, a D6 dice set, some fancy tokens, sleeves, and dials. That's a hard one. How much is it? Like, I don't know, like this, that price is, because we haven't got to the shipping yet. Pledges. So we're talking, oh yeah, it's because I scrolled back up. Here we go. Shipping. Retailers, cool. Follow us. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything crucial. Talking about the people. Oh, hey, we do have some videos. Got a couple video dumps. Okay, I do need to scroll up. We missed a good deal here. What do we get? Here we go. Oh, good. Game and setup. Setting up the game.
Each of the card decks.
Okay. Explaining turns and rounds. Hopefully this all strings together. It's not like all a la carte. Game cards explained. It feels like you're just telling me stuff from the rule booklet. That's weird. Gameplay. Dex Dixon is easy to learn and fast to play. I would have loved to have known that a while ago. That's good to know. Start your turn by rolling 5 dice. Because honestly, at this point, I've forgotten how long the game is. Anytime you may assign dice to move your boss, positioning to draw stuff. So now we're getting into the gameplay. Weeds, cool. Scenarios, kill or be killed on the case. It's good to be king. This is all great stuff to have. I love this. We're going into the weeds about what the different campaign is. Read the rules. Fantastic. Love that. Play the game. Tabletop simulator. This is all great stuff. I don't think it's above shipping, but I think it's great stuff. The Adventures of Dex Dixon. It's a preview. Okay. I love dice chuckers, and the fact that I can spend and use the dice however I want is a big plus for me. Okay. Meet the creators. That's it. We got the preview. Shipping. 12 to $17, 16 to 21, 20. So there's not even a gameplay. That's discouraging. Because you clearly have spent a lot of time shooting footage of you explaining the game. Like, where I just want the gameplay. Okay. I mean, it's nice to have a preview. Don't get me wrong. But I gotta have a gameplay. Especially because this is a solo game, right? I gotta have a solo game as well. I gotta have a solo gameplay. Or sometimes, well, I guess it depends. The shipping price here, estimates of what we should. So it's 12 to 17, 16 to 21, 20, 25. So the most popular pledge level is now up to $210, 120. So I'm looking for the Streetwise Cop. That's pretty much a deluxe version, and then the regular version for everyone is then at 82 to 87, which is still feeling like a deluxe price. You know, I go on to Cool Mini or not. Not Cool Mini, Rat, like Miniature Market or something. I can get an $80 deluxeified game that I know is going to be fantastic. Like, it has a pedigree. So I don't know. The prices just don't seem good at any of the particular ones to me. Especially with how little I feel like I really truly know about the game. Like, I need a gameplay. Now, get me wrong. Rule book looks great. Let's go. Hopefully, okay, not theme. Gameplay. Component setup. There it is. Components. So looking. Okay, so good. We got a nice looking setup. Great. Okay. Whew. Fears averted about the rule booklet. Lots of pictures, illustrations, example, basic concepts. Basic concepts. God, I hate that. I'm not a fan of that particular style of rule booklet where they just overload everything at the front and then they get to actually how to play the game and then it just feels really redundant. And then, it's like, anywho, it does. It still looks decent. It doesn't look like a terrible rule booklet. But that price, so let's check out the FAQ update comments. I don't think there is anything yet. It just launched. And comments, let's check them out. I'm in, though not all in. To me, the Streetwise Cop pledge seems to have the best value. I really like the expansion packs, but isn't $40 for 48 new cards a bit steep? Wait, I thought they were two. Wasn't there 3 tuck boxes? Are there less cards than that? I must investigate, because that definitely... Like, I was already not great on the how much is it, but if it's only 32 cards, that seems like a bit. And by a bit, I mean way too much. Huck gives it a B-. It has a lot of stuff that needs to be rearranged and cleaned up. I don't know. That price, that price is hurting me here. Let's see. And I need to see it. So, 32 cards, 32. So it's 96 cards. 3 decks with a total of 48 new and unique cards. Oh. 48 new and unique cards. For $40. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. So for some reason we don't hit the 50k stretch goal. That means the all-in pledge won't come with enough sleeves to cover all the cards. That seems less than ideal. Thank you for that question. This is something I look closely as I'd like you to be able to have enough sleeves for those cards for sure. More on this shortly. Yeah, that looks cool. Thank you so much for going with standees and not minis. I hope more companies follow this trend. However, I would also like to see the tokens be cardboard as well. There's too much plastic in this hobby. How much of this game is solo/co-op? Solo/co-op narrative skirmish games are a big thing right now. Yeah, but like I'm saying, you shouldn't have to ask that question. It should be more evident. Thank you. I'm also a fan of standees. We did design minis. Much prefer minis to standees. Does anyone feel like this game board would benefit from a more noir color palette? Okay. So, final grade for The Adventure of Dex Dixon, the board game. I don't know. Do I want it? Not particularly. I mean, I don't feel like I'm convinced before I know the price, which is never good. There are 2 copies of each card. Ouch, almost 90 cents a card. Damn it, Huckleberry, why'd you have to do math? Now it sounds worse. I can't disagree with that. So let's see. Is there any pedigree behind this one? It's always good to know as well. First time game designer. Okay. Got it. I honestly assumed the person at the beginning of the video was the game designer. Just because I've been in the industry for a long time and I've seen a lot of people come through, and a lot of times the people are a lot the same. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying. Anywho, so $70, but goes up to $80 for this game. That's a hard sell, especially when the can you do it aspect of it is you're not just making the game, but you're making a lot of stuff. And the fact that one of the backers is like, hey, I immediately see this thing where if we don't hit a certain stretch goal, then we're not even going to have all the card sleeves for the game, that's a really major issue. That's bad. Those are small, minor mistakes that really concern me. Because when you're saying you're going to make this much on $45,000, any mistake can really screw you over. Whereas this, where it's sitting at $80,000-$90,000, it's a lot different. And so that concerns me. That really concerns me. No gameplay video. Just the thought that, hey, we just need to have that Dice Tower preview. Dice Tower preview, that's all we need will be money. That's not the case anymore. I don't know. I would not be surprised if this relaunches. Because, yeah, I think Huckleberry said it. There's a lot good here. There's a lot, just straight off with the price. We're not beating around the bush. It's like, I don't know. I don't think that video was the play. I think we just focus more on the gameplay a little bit. Like, a gameplay video. A solo gameplay video. Because this is solo, right? Pretty sure. Where's that player count again? There it is. 1 to 4. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a C. C. Let me go with C. I think it's C. Right in the middle. I'm gonna go with a C minus. Yeah, that video. I just don't think that video is it. Because most people aren't going to know the intellectual property, which means we're just sitting through, you doing an homage to
artifact. But in the end, I want
stuff and talking about what's going to happen in the game, and then we get to just I don't want to use the word droning, but kind of just droning about the game. And that's kind of what I was getting with the rule booklet. I see too many rule booklets that feel lazy, where instead of this one, I'll say this one. where instead of interweaving the overview stuff and how the game works, you know, with the actual gameplay, which is ideal, where you read through the rule booklet and they walk, like, they learn the game, I think, for most people. I don't know. C-. Very skeptical about this project, but that price point, that funding goal, and the fact that it's a first-timer, I'm out. Yeah, that, like, and I appreciate the honest $45,000 funding goal. But I think this one, I think the way to go with it is either to go with just the game and then a couple of the upgrades or something, or the deluxeified version of it. But, and also, I'd like to know a firm size of the box. Like, this looks like a big box. I don't feel like I got the impression about all the stuff. I would love to have a cat in the game, though. Yeah, Jason right there. I would love to have my cat in a game, though, so they could relaunch down the road. Yeah, that right there is a huge selling point. Like, I have quite literally talked to my friend Adam. Me and my friend Adam, we do Thoughts in the Corner. We've agreed that one day we're going to make a game, and we will 100% have the option for you to put your pet into the game, because every time I see that pledge level, people buy it. People love that pledge level. And the fact that it's just buried down here. It is so buried, it's not even really that spotlighted. It's just, it's after all this other stuff. Just, yeah, the organization, like, where is it? We're going to get to it. Right here. Like, that's how far I had to go to find it. You felt like every other piece of information that is above this one was more important. When this one, in its essence, as long as your artist is cool with this, is such an easy pledge level to do. If you've got your artist in-house and on board with this, oh, yeah, I'm going to go C-. Let me know in the comments below what's your final grade for the adventure of Dex Dixon. As always, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below, as I'm trying to reach 17,000 subscribers in 2023 to make it my biggest year ever. Go have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Boop.